Good day everyone, my name is Jory Canilio and I am from Group 1 Presenter together with my co-members Mr. Charlie Barbak and Mr. Serge Bagatan. And our topic given is all about the monarch butterfly controversy. So let me start our topic to present. The monarch butterfly controversy. Define what is a Bt corn. Bt corn contains a gene from the bacterium Bacillus thuringiensis that allows a corn plant to resist insect pest known as the European corn borer. What is the process of producing Bt corn? To transform a plant into a GMO plant, the gene that produces a genetic trait of interest is identified and separated from the rest of the genetic material from a donor organism. Most organisms have thousands of genes. A single gene represents only a tiny fraction of the total genetic makeup of an organism. A donor organism may be a bacterium, fungus, or even another plant. In the case of Bt corn, the donor organism is a naturally occurring cell bacterium or Bacillus thuringiensis, and the gene of interest produces a protein that kills Lepidoptera larvae or European corn borer. What is the benefits of Bt corn to the farmers? It improves corn yield and profitability, improves crop management effectiveness, and improves opportunity to grow field corn in the event of severe pest infestation. And it also solves the problem of farmers when pests burrow inside corn stalks where they are difficult to see and inaccessible to most pesticides. In the year 1995, the Environmental Protection Program of the United States approved the genetically modified corn. They have 10 varieties of Bt corn are registered and approved. The registration is only valid for 5 years and should renew it afterwards. EPA ensured that Bt corn does not pose an unreasonable risk to man or the environment. Taking into account the economic, social, and environmental costs and benefits of the use of the pesticide, they also guaranteed a safe level of pesticide residues in foods.
The controversy. EPA did not specifically require tests for possible effects of Bt on monarch butterfly larvae. But since it was well known that Bt was toxic, the director of EPA notes that the agency assumed that Bt could harm monarchs if they were exposed to it, but believed that monarchs were unlikely to be present in cornfields. Monarch butterfly. Monarch butterfly, Thanos flexipus, lay eggs on the types of plant, the milkweed. When the eggs hatch, the caterpillar feeds exclusively on the weed. Monarch lay more eggs in milkweeds than in cultivated fields. Dr. John Losse. In 1999, Dr. John Losse, together with his co-researchers Dr. Maureen Carter and Dr. Linda Slayer of Cornell University in New York City, studied to find out whether the weeds in Bt cornfields could serve as an alternative host for the European corn borer. They noticed the large amount of milkweed in and around the cornfields. Methods of Losse's tea. Methods. They misted covered milkweed leaves with water. Number 2. Sprinkled corn pollen on the leaves to a density that visually mimic the pollen density they observed in the field. 3. Ray used pollen from 2 different types of corn. One is from the Bt corn produced by Novartis known as N4640. The other is unmodified corn hybrid. Number 4. They then placed 5 3-day-old monarch larvae in each milkweed leaf. Tested and observed their feeding habits and survival rates over 4 days. Results. Monarch larvae exposed to the Bt corn pollen ate less milkweed than those exposed to the conventional hybrid pollen. Most of the larvae feeding on the milkweed dusted with BT corn pollen died after 4 days, whereas none of the larvae exposed to a conventional corn pollen died. Although only a note and not a full scientific investigation, they gathered a tremendous amount of media coverage and gave antibiotic advocates a poster species for their cause. In the following year, the EPA, biotech companies, and university researchers studied the potential impact of Betty corn pollen on the monarch butterfly and related species. John Obricki and Laura Jesse of Iowa State University studied if the Bt toxin could affect the non-target insects. They found out that Bt pollen can cause mortality for the first instar monarch larvae.
Protests against BT corn. The public leaped on loosely result as confirmation that EPA's registration system for bioengineered crops was not stringent enough to adequately protect people and the environment. Dressed as corns and butterfly in the front of U.S. Capitol to show disapproval on BT corn. BT crops environmental concerns by Greenpeace, such as effects on non-target organisms, including indirect toxicity and long-term effects. It also effects on soil health, accumulation and persistence of BT toxins aquatic. It also built up the insects resistance and impact on sustainable farming practices. The criticisms belittling the Cornell study appeared widely in the US and British television. The agricultural companies launched web pages downplaying and ridiculing study. The present major biotech company stated that if the scientists chosen a different insects, it's likely that few people have responded to the paper, and they use the monarch. However, they loved by the school children, gardeners, and millionaires of the people throughout the world. The world press latched on the study even before the article was in print. As soon as the protesters wearing corn and butterfly costumes were marching in the streets, now our question is, will the scientists make further experiments if monarch wasn't such a beautiful butterfly? The lesson learned, it's because of the worldwide growing improvement of biotechnology, we must also implement investigations to find their effects on the environment that we need in more researches.